All right. Well, let me just first start by saying welcome to all of you to our 2022 fall 2022 high school sports celebration. My name is Keel Hook. I'm the athletic director here at Heritage Christian, and I have the honor and privilege of working with your student athletes and this group of wonderful coaches this past fall. And before I go any further, I would like to open us in a word of prayer, and then we will jump into our program for this evening. So if you would please bow your heads and join me in prayer. Father, we come to you this evening, Lord, and we just ask that this be a great night of celebration, of excitement, and of just tying a nice bow, a nice ribbon on what's been a fantastic start to our athletic season. Lord, I'm so thankful for everyone that's in this room tonight, and I ask that this just be, again, a great night where each individual athlete and coach is able to celebrate what they've accomplished this year. And Lord, we know that it's because of you that we are able to do all of the things that we are able to do athletically at Heritage Christian, and we are so grateful for the blessings that you have bestowed upon our school and will continue to bestow upon us throughout the rest of this year. In your name we pray. Amen. Well, this year we have had a fantastic start to our fall. And I am not going to steal any of the thunder from any of our programs tonight, but we have had many wonderful individual and team accomplishments this year that hopefully our coaches go into detail sharing with all of you tonight. Before I turn it over to our first team of the evening, I just have a couple thank yous that I would like to give. First, to our athletes, being a member of an interscholastic athletic team, regardless of the sport, is a huge commitment. It's a huge time commitment. Practices, games, preseason, it's a lot. And all of you put forth your best effort. I had a great time going to see all of you play. I know there were varying levels of success for each program, but you never let anything negative show on your face. You played with great enthusiasm. You ran with great enthusiasm. And that was great to see. So thank you, athletes. Parents, same thing for you. Being a parent of an athlete is a lot of work. Driving to practices, games, washing uniforms, making sure your kids, bring their uniform. All of those things. And just giving the support and the love to our student athletes is part of what has made this fall so fantastic. We've had wonderful crowds at athletic events this fall, and I'm hoping that continues on into the winter. All of you who have volunteered, whether it be in the concession stand or as a line judge or taking tickets, thank you. Volunteerism is a huge part of our athletic program, and because of you, we're able to do a lot of really fantastic things. So thank you to all the volunteers. Thank you to our booster club. I know we have a few booster board members here tonight. I would like to specifically thank all of you for the support that you've given myself, our coaches, and our program so far this year. And I know we have a lot of things in the works for the rest of the year, so thank you for your support. And then lastly, I would like to thank our coaches. We had a coaches meeting way back July or early August at the middle school, high school. And I said in that meeting, and I'll say it again, I do not believe that there is another school in our area that has a group of coaches who put in the time, the effort, and the love into their programs than the coaches at our school. We have a phenomenal group of coaches. They love your kids. They love their sport. They encourage their athletes to support all of our sports. Boys soccer, having you guys at the volleyball games this past fall was amazing. Okay? And coaches, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I cannot say it enough for everything you've done for our student athletes and for our school. So at this time, I will turn it over to our teams. We do have a change in order. Boys soccer is going to be going first, and then they will be followed by cross country. So if I could have Coach Siebert come up. floor is yours.
Thanks, Gil. I just wanted to start with some thank yous as well for my assistant coaches, Jason, Dan, and Dave. Jason, we've been coaching together for 6 years now, and it's been just amazing having your support, your ideas, your insights, your dedication. I'm grateful for every minute that you can give us out there. It's been awesome. Dan, you jumped in. I kind of sprung it on you this summer. It was awesome having you jump in with us. I think the guys really liked having you coach. And just the enthusiasm and also the skill level that you bring and your speed and strength and understanding of the game has been huge, helped us progress immensely. Dave, thank you for jumping in as well. It was really awesome having you when we did. Your insights and your technical understanding that you could share with us was huge. Keel, I wanted to thank you. Thanks for reaching out to me and bringing me on board this year. Thank you for your patience as I peppered you with endless emails, texts, and meetings as I tried to get up to speed. Now that I have a little more experience, I can promise you that a lot more of those are coming. So. Parents, thank you so much for your support this year. It was huge. We couldn't have done a lot of these things without you. Thank you for your volunteering, for the meals, for snacks, for rides, and especially for handling the dreaded iPad. I know a lot of you, anytime you'd see me start walking, you close your eyes or hide under a blanket or something, but thank you for taking that on and getting us footage of our games. I want to thank the Booster Club for their support. We were able to get some equipment through them, and also they took care of the senior banners this year, which was awesome. I also wanted to quickly just say thank you to our sponsors, Burghart's Pizza Ranch and J&S Carpet. They were the ones that made it so we could get the fence banners out there, which I think added a step up for our program this year. So a quick recap on our season. We definitely had not the successful season that we were hoping for, like far from it. So it was hard, but sometimes you learn the greatest lessons through adversity and through challenges. So I hope we really learned a lot this year, actually. This is my first year jumping into the varsity program and bringing in 3 new coaches with me. So it was a lot of getting up to speed, a lot of trying to figure out just how all the pieces and parts work. Learning the ropes, laying the foundation for what's going to happen. I feel like we did learn a lot and put a lot into play this year, but we have a lot to go. We actually had a very, very tough schedule. Just in our conference, I know we all are in the same conference, but 3 of the teams in our conference are ranked top 10 in the state for the whole season. So we knew we were going to go in with some really tough games. At the end of the season, we could see how our schedule was even tougher than we thought in the beginning. Through the season, we ended up fighting against 7 of the 8 regional championships in the sectional 3 and 4. So we were just giving it all we had, but we were outmatched in a lot of ways. We also ended up facing one of the Division 3 regional champions. On top of that, we had a number of games, probably right in the middle of our season, where we had 2 or 3 of our key starters out with injuries or whatever issue. So that was a lot for our guys to handle, but I felt like they did it really well. I would see our guys just keep fighting, even in the 80th minute of a game when we're down 6-0 or 7-0. They're never quitting, and that to me just shows how fierce we are, and it shows the character. Like even in the middle of a losing battle, they're still fighting to win. But it wasn't all hard. We also had some games where we played teams where we were clearly the stronger team. We beat Eastbrook Academy 8-1. I think at the end of our game, even our whole bench was in, and they were still bringing it and still scoring. We beat in conference. We beat Kenosha Life 5-1, and that was huge. Against St. Augustine Prep, who historically has been just a powerhouse of a soccer team. We put in 3 quality goals against them, and they weren't just like gimme, and they were still playing their starters at the end, giving it everything we could, or they were giving us everything they could. But we still managed to get some really awesome goals on them. A couple of the highlights: we held Lake Country Lutheran, who was the sectional champion in this year. We had that game held to 0-0 at the 65th minute out of 80. So we felt pretty awesome about that. Like, we can hang with the best in our sectionals. And then also against St. John's, who was the runner-up sectional champion. We gave up just 2 goals in the second half, and we were playing down a player because of the red card. So that was huge. Our guys are a solid team. And thanks, Nathan, for jumping out of that game for us on that one. So those are just a couple of the highlights and the challenges that we faced. In addition to that, we also had a lot of progress this year. We were able to do a lot of fundraising. We saw a lot of progress as far as like we set up new goals. We got to use the new scoreboard. We got new uniforms, new team bags, new warm-ups, the fence banners, and other new equipment. So all in all, I think we've made progress this year, and that's what we were really pushing towards. So anyway, that's just a quick season recap. But now I'm going to call up the players and talk about each of the guys. Can I have all the freshman guys come on up? So one thing I want to point out, we are also a very young team. As you can see, we've got, 6 freshman guys, we got a bunch of sophomores, and we are playing against really tough teams with a very young team. We also don't have a JV program. However, we did schedule a couple of JV games this year, which was great because it let us get more playing time experience for our younger players and more experience on the field. Instead of facing sectional champs, these guys could go against people more their size, more their ability level. So anyway, so Denzel, I want to step up here. So Denzel was new to me. He's jumped in with us this summer, and he had just a great attitude and effort right off the bat. What really impressed me about Denzel is his coachability. Basically, he would hear something from us coaches, and I could see him immediately trying to put it into practice. And then when he would go in a game, that was what you saw him working on. Told him to be physical, and he would go in and he'd be really physical. Tell him to go in and here's your spot, go do this. Give me 5 minutes, everything you got, and he would go and do it. So, thank you, Denzel. Jacoby is a sneaky player. He really just seems to be in the right spot. You kind of think he's not really paying attention, but then he's just right where he needs to be at the right time, and somehow he's got his foot on the ball. When you combine that with his touch on the ball, he can be really an offensive threat for us. And if he continues to push himself harder and harder, he's going to be a truly standout player for us with his strong left foot. Thanks, Jacoby. Nolan is a lot of fun to coach. He's one of the smallest guys in the field. So like I said, we have our young team. So Nolan's out there fighting against seniors who have been bulking out and playing hard. But Nolan doesn't act like one of the smallest guys in the field. He throws his weight around, what little of it there is. But he's giving it 100%, and he won't back down. And he also has that very sneaky quickness that I love to see. I just can't wait to see him continue to grow into that and continue to be physical because it's going to start paying off here pretty quick. Zion. Zion, for those of you that know him, is pretty quiet and shy. Or at least, no, just to soccer coaches, apparently. So he seems pretty shy at the practice, although he is goofing around with these guys. But when he gets into the game, he's a totally different person. Suddenly, I see the kid who's kind of like not moving as quick as the others, jumps into this like I see flashes of his quickness and his strength, and I'll put him in, and he'll just be like on, and it's like, man, we got to get this like in more because he's just fierce out there. So he definitely puts what we trying to coach him into play into the games. He has some great moments and some key takeaways from players on the field to win the ball back for us. And also, I don't know if you know this, but Zion likes mangoes. There's a little story about this. We had a team breakfast at my house, and we had a big box of mangoes on the counter. And as he's leaving, Zion comes and like, "Where'd you get that box of mangoes? Can I have a mango?" So I'm like, "Sure thing, buddy, take a mango." Sure enough, at the very end of our season, after we just lost our away playoff game pretty badly, but we all were like, you know, we're hungry. Like everyone stops at like Quick Trip to grab some snacks and stuff. Standing there looking around, and Zion walks up to me and he says, "You still got that box of mangoes? Where'd you get those mangoes?" Anyway, thanks, Zion. Amos. Amos started the season a little late with us for a couple of different reasons, but when he did come on board, he made a huge impact right off the bat. Originally, we had him slated as a midfielder, but with injuries and other issues with players, he ended up shifting into a defensive role, and he excelled. He just really stepped it up, and it was like I could put him in center defense and just not worry. I just knew if the ball comes in, or if a strong player is there, he's going to cover them, he's going to win the ball, and he's going to connect it and move it up the field for us. He was just huge right off the bat. His game awareness and ability to shut down offense was really, really impressive. Thanks, Amos. Isaac was a nice surprise for me stepping in this year because I did not know him or where he was coming from. But I think Isaac has the best touch on the ball on our team. As a freshman, he started and pretty much played every minute unless he needed a quick break because I needed him on the field. He's got the best touch, but he's also an equally good shooter on both his right foot and his left foot. He led our team in scoring this year, including a hat trick against Kenosha Christian Life and two of the three impressive goals against St. Augustine Prep. I want you guys to keep your eye on Isaac. He has a lot of really good soccer ahead of him. So thanks, Isaac. Sophomore is coming up. All right, Jordan. So Jordan is just an extremely versatile player. I basically can put him anywhere, like literally any position. He will play goalie for us. He will play outside wing. He could play up on top. He can play mid. And he can play defense. It's just been really awesome to have a player like Jordan where we kind of feel comfortable getting mid wherever. He's just a naturally good athlete. And his attitude is fantastic. He's the kind of kid that no matter what you tell him, he's like, okay, coach, and does it just with a smile. And it's not just to my face. And like he genuinely is just a great guy. I think his teammates really respect him, and he plays with great confidence and great effort. And he's also a very vocal supporter of our team, whether we're up or we're down, or we're practice or games, or it doesn't matter. He's just constantly lifting our team up. So thank you, Jordan. Carson. All right, so Carson played with us a few times last summer when we do our open pickup in the summer. He seemed to have fun in the summer, but had zero soccer experience. Which is tricky. When you get to high school or a varsity level sport, generally you're not going to have a lot of people that jump in without with zero experience. But Carson took a little convincing, pushed a little bit, and I know Finn was trying to talk him into it too. But he did it. He came out, and I think he wasn't very confident at first. He didn't necessarily want to go into games right away, but he was watching and he was listening, and he was starting to see things very quickly. He just picked it up, the mental side of the game and how the game flowed and how it's supposed to work very quickly, and his skills just flourished really fast. So it felt like right away he was one of our first guys off the bench, having come in this year, just learned very fast, and I think there's a lot ahead for him if we can keep him around and keep him working. So thanks, Carson. Finn. Finn's the kind of player, well, so first off, I'm his dad. So that's both a blessing and a curse. We drive each other crazy, and sometimes in the car ride home, I have to be like, hey, this is dad talking to you now, or hey, this is coach talking to you now. And so it's tricky to try to balance that. But I'm absolutely thrilled to have Finn out there with us because he just brings just this raw athleticism. He's only been playing soccer for a few years, but as our starting keeper, he's developed more and more this year, and his reaction time is just phenomenal. He also can just launch his body basically in any direction. Like, just, I don't know, those shots come in sometimes like, I don't know how you got there, but you did. So, thank you, Finn. Johnny. All right, so I've been able to coach Johnny for quite a while, and he hates practices with me. This year, hopefully, it wasn't as bad. But Johnny keeps coming, and he keeps putting in the work and keeps digging. Johnny actually has the honor of scoring our very first goal of the season, which was pretty awesome. I was really excited for him when it happened. I think he was pretty excited too. And Johnny also had a really fantastic conference goal against Living Word Lutheran this year. He's just continued to improve through the years, and I know there's more and more to come. And you keep getting stronger on the ball and making good decisions on the field. So I don't know, I'm excited to see you keep working and keep growing, Johnny. Thank you. Matt. So I'm going to say Matt is one of our smartest players. He's one of those players that you have to have around. He helps carry your team in a lot of different ways. He has a great read on the game, great understanding of the game, and his understanding of just kind of how the flow of how our team should function is really critical. It's really important on soccer field when you have 11 guys that you have some people in the middle that can think, take control, move things, push people, and just be fluid with the situation. And Matt's that player. He helps us keep possession and transition the ball from defense to offense. This year we also had to have him jump into defense a lot between our injuries and stuff. And I know he's not like naturally a defender, but he's the kind of person that can just jump in and do it because he's smart and he has the skill set to do it. So thanks, Matt. And with the juniors coming up. I don't see Wade here. Is Wade here? Wade's at work. Okay. All right, I'll start with Yeshua. Yeshua is really fast. He's like really fast. And that is fun to see when you see a kid that just suddenly it just unleashes and can just get down that field so fast. Unfortunately, again, with our really tough schedule, it's hard to get a lot of offense going, so we weren't able to capitalize on Yeshua's quickness as much this year as I would have liked to, but I think it's coming. Wherever we're going to have him, he's going to be using that speed to help us be better. And I think everyone except Jackson was really excited for Yeshua. when he finally broke the curse and got his first goal of the year against KCL. And the reason Jackson's not real happy is because Jackson was actually dribbling into the goal, and Yeshua took the ball from him and went and shot and scored. But just the joy that Joshua had, it was pretty awesome. I know I'm giving Jackson a hard time, and he forgives him. But I really do think you should still buy him lunch or something. Yeshua, we're gonna get a lot more going next year for you, and thank you so much for what you put in this year. Noah is just all around a super nice guy, and he has a fantastic attitude, and he's an easy person to coach. And his nice guy demeanor is just awesome, unless he's defending you. Then he plays you fast, physical, and hard, and just annoys the heck out of you until you get rid of that ball. Noah's also out there putting in extra work before practice or after practice or in the off season, and that's just really encouraging to see. He has just a love for the game and can't wait. Just wants to be better and better, so he's got a hunger for that. And so keep working because it's going to pay off. You got another year, and you're going to be better and stronger. Thanks, Tom. Scott. So Scott is another one of those players that has the game IQ that we need to hold them midfield. He's played for many, many years. He's watched a lot of soccer and just makes an impact. Scott has a really good awareness of where his team is and is the first one to shift. Like for me being in soccer, it's important to be fluid. Like everyone has to kind of know where each other is. But Scott's probably the best one of just adjusting. If he sees one of our defenders making a run, Scott will look and drop the defensive role or vice versa. So he's just done a really good job this year of covering our space and our transitioning from defense to offense. Thanks, Scott. Seniors, can I have you guys coming up? I'm going to start with Azzy. Azzy makes a huge impact anytime he's on that field. As a coach, I think personally he's physically bigger, stronger, and faster than almost anyone else we faced this year. Unfortunately, we didn't get to have him for the whole season. And we clearly struggled when he wasn't on the field. Not only is he physically very, very gifted and talented, he also has a great attitude, his mindset and encouragement. Like I know, like there was a game he got banged up and came out, and he wanted to go back on the field, and I said, no, it's not worth you going out right now. And he was so loud still from the sidelines for the rest of the game, just pushing and cheering our guys on and encouraging them to keep fighting. So thanks, Azzy. We're going to miss having you around. So I forgot to say on the front end of this is my first year of varsity, but before this, Jason and I had coached middle school for a number of years. And so I've coached a bunch of you guys through middle school, including Nathan. And then Nathan in middle school was this kind of scrawny, skinny kid, and he was kind of dorky. But he's grown up. Nathan has grown a lot. He is big and he's fierce and he's physical. And I told the guys this year I wanted us playing more physical, and Nathan jumped on board with that really quick. Unfortunately, he jumped on board a little too hard on one of those games and got a red card or a second yellow. But anytime he was in there, he was a physical threat. He was defending, and I know that also was not his natural position, but we needed him back there because he was so strong. Nathan was constantly pushing as one of the captains to work to make himself better and his teammates get better. Unfortunately, we missed him when I said we had injuries and stuff. He was one of our key injuries. We missed him for, 5-6 games in a row. something like that. And it was just, the impact was devastating to us to not have him there. But even with his back injury, even when he wasn't at 100%, he was giving 100%. The team really saw that, and I think that challenged all of our guys to really keep pushing. So thank you, Nathan. Jackson makes coaching a lot of fun. Jackson just has a pure love of the game. Oh, it is here. Jackson just has this pure love of the game that I think all of the soccer team realizes, and probably the parents too. I think he knows the game more than anyone. He can rattle off probably all of the pros out there in all the games, and who's going to win the World Cup. Yeah. And whether he is playing games, practicing, running captain's practices or whatever, texting me like all the time, it's about soccer and what we can do and what's going on and what other teams are doing out there and who's winning and losing. He just oozes soccer. As a captain, he brought leadership both on and off the field. And our team will certainly miss having your energy and enthusiasm around. I know I will. Thanks, Jackson. Wade. When I told our team that we needed to play more physical and that I expected at least one yellow card per game, I don't think anyone was more excited than Wade was. He wanted to run into people and run over people. It was pretty clear. Wade stepped on in this year without a ton of soccer experience, but has played a lot of lacrosse and football too, right? Yeah. So he wanted to be physical, and he jumped in, and he was tough. He has the height and speed that we need, and I'm glad I gave him for another year because we're going to need him back. So thanks, Wade. All right, so I just got a few awards that we're going to run through here. This player just jumped right in this year and made a huge impact. He kept improving throughout the season, and when we would get scored on, it wasn't because of this player. He plays with this gracefulness about him and just shuts down other teams. He played incredibly well against some of the best forwards and midfielders in the state, and I truly believe he's just getting started. There's a lot of really incredible soccer and ahead for him, and who knows where that's going to take him. So our most improved player in all conference, honorable mention, Amos Ali. If you were to ask our team who our strongest player is, I don't think that there would be any question. Both on and off the field, he led this year. It was an honor to see him give all he had all the way to the end, and even when we were down. He led the team in shots, often creating opportunities when there wasn't one. And I look forward to seeing this player play more, and excited to see what God has in store for him. Our most valuable player in all conference, honorable mention, Jackson Royer. Coach Miller and I have given out what we call the HEAD Award for years now. It stands for heart, effort, attitude, and dedication. While a number of our guys come close to deserving this, one player stood out from the crowd. All of us coaches agreed, and I think that that's really saying something. This player genuinely gave it his all through the summer and our season. What he brought to the field made our team and program better this year. His perseverance is truly testimony to who he is. Our HEAD Award winner and also all-conference honorable mention, Nathan Stover. Well, to you guys and the rest of the team out there, thank you guys so much for this year. It has been a huge blessing to me and to our other coaches to be your coaches. And while we'll certainly miss you seniors, the rest of you guys, we have a lot to look forward ahead of us, and we're just going to keep grinding away and getting better and better. So thank you.
All right, we just have like a couple sentences to say, just me and Nathan, about our three coaches. We gotta notoriously pull up the notes app. So many thanks to all three of you for this season. I say this on behalf of me and the rest of the team who aren't expecting much out of this season due to a change in coaching. We appreciate the effort you three put into season and training. And we understand how patient you guys were with us, especially in some of the harder games. So that's why we thank you.
I'd like to thank you guys all for your support in coaching us throughout the season. Despite injury, sickness, and a red card, you all gave us your effort and your time, which made the season good and our team. Thank you, Mr. Siebert, especially because despite this being your first year coaching varsity, you gave it your full effort and you did it well. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Coach Joshua King, and this is Coach Zach Thompson. We are representing the cross-country team tonight. I thank you guys all for coming. I'm going to invite the runners up right now, so you can awkwardly stand up here for a while. Looks like we have everybody. That's cool. I'd be remiss to not mention the person on the screen pictured there. My good friend Dave Irwin. It's going to be really hard. My good friend Dave Irwin. I've coached cross country for, I believe, 12 seasons. He has been my friend for 10 of those seasons and my assistant coach for, I believe, 8 of those. Over those 10 years of friendship, we have coached dozens of meets together, coached hundreds of practices together, ran thousands of miles together, and over that time we grew a close friendship. He touched my life. He made me a better person. As far as coaching partners goes, we were very kindred spirits in many ways. And as some of you who know the cross country program know that we are also like a kind of like a really weird odd couple in a lot of ways too. I'm gonna miss his laugh, his encouragement, his shenanigans, his sister's cat, and his love. And that's just me. To these guys here, he was a confidant, a coach, a mentor, and a friend. He ran hundreds of miles with them. He gave hundreds of hours of his own time, willingly and lovingly, to many of them, as he wanted to pour himself and Jesus into their lives. So for myself, these runners up here, Coach Ed, it's actually Zach, but the runners affectionately call him Ed, and I'm assuming many of you in the audience even, we're all going to miss him dearly. He was one of a kind. One of the things that we were really good at as kindred spirits over the years in doing these banquets was we were really good at time, and we were kind of judgy of the other coaches who took forever. And we were really good at coming in the allotted time and under the time that we were given. I'm not doing that this year. Already I'm off to a bad start, so I didn't honor him well in that way. So we're here to honor our runners' efforts and remember Derwin's legacy. And we've done that, so now we're going to move on to honoring these runners. But first I want to give you guys a real quick season recap. The season recap starts with bringing Coach Ed on board. He was, when I first started coaching here, he was one of my first runners in the first season I coached. And when I realized I needed a new coach, new assistant, he was literally the first person that popped in my mind, and I reached out to him, and he immediately he said yes. Like literally, I texted him and I was expecting like let me think about it. And I think he, within minutes of the text, like, yeah, let's do it. So he was a really good fit with the team. The runners loved him. I loved him. Not loved. We loved him. We still do. But he was a good fit. So that's kind of how the season started, was bringing Coach Ed on board, and we had a good season. And I like to measure success in a lot of ways just through effort, and the fact that every runner up here improved their times by measure that in minutes. We had a very successful season. We had one runner, maybe more, who improved their time over the course of the season by 8 minutes or more. So very good effort, very successful season if we measure it by that and that alone. But we had success in other ways too. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough runners on the girls' team to run as a team. So the girls had to run as individuals in each of the meets. I just want to point out that I actually had 2 teams up here, and they all fit right there. And Coach Siebert had one team, and they were coming up in waves. So our girls, the 3 girls up here represent the girls' team, and they had to run as individuals at all the meets, but they ran very well. They had a good season. I'm proud of them. And the guys actually had enough to run as a team, and some of the highlights for them was we had one all-conference runner, Finn Siebert. We had several top 10 finishes by Josiah and Finn and Janelle. Yeah. And we took 6th place at conference. And we were 11 out of 15 teams at sections. And I was very proud of them at all their meets. So we're going to move on now to talk about these guys individually. We pass it off to Coach Ed.
Thank you. All right, so I'll start with our freshmen, the 3 amigos right here, Daniel, Evan, and Lincoln. So these guys went through the ups and downs of the season together, and they really did a remarkable job of that. I got the pleasure of driving this trio to practice on a daily basis. These guys would be chatting about their latest video game battles and sharing their music and videos that they found after school. Most of the time they were laughing and just having a really good time together. And it seemed like they could be doing that for hours and hours, and that was great. Their camaraderie carried in through practice, where they would often do their workouts together. They were able to build a relationship both as teammates and as friends that way. So thanks to their hard work in practice, these freshman runners, they had great seasons. They were able to take several minutes off of their race times from their first race in the summer to the sectional race a couple weeks ago. So we're really proud of those guys, these 3 guys here, and what they were able to accomplish. And we're certainly looking forward to working with them in the seasons to come.
Next up, we're going to talk about Alex Trotter. Alex ran for me freshman year, and he was a joy to have on the team then. And he's fast, and he's a basketball player, and that's what's more important to him, which is cool. That's fine. So we took a year off his sophomore year, and I think he realized that he just loves running. I think he just loves running, and he had to come back. So I was ecstatic when I heard that he decided that he was going to be coming back to run for the team again. His smile and his positive attitude were always good for morale on the team. He was a key component to our team. His dedication to practices and to the team as a whole was evident, even through injuries that he battled throughout the season. He fought hard to be out there running with his teammates and take on the challenge of coming in ahead of his previous race times, and he improved a great deal. We know the work he put in will pay dividends going into the basketball season, and looking forward to running with him next year.
All right, next we have Beth. So Beth really challenged herself in the latter part of the season to improve her times. She was able to do that in emphatic fashion here in her senior year. She shaved minutes off of her times down the stretch and continued to gradually up her pace. She wasn't able to compete in our last race. She had one of the many things that she does outside of cross country that she's involved in. But I'm sure that she would have been able to knock off even more time given the chance there. So she was just a joy to have on the team and definitely will be missed here next year. Next, then, we have Belle. Belle was a stable, a guiding light of sorts for our team. As a senior, she exemplified leadership in practices and conducted herself with grace toward her teammates and her coaches. She ran well in competition, giving her all at the end of races to finish as strong as she could, bringing her times down throughout the season. She pushed through some nagging injuries, and even amidst the pain that she was going through, she showed character and grit through all of that. Belle was just a blessing to the team, and she also just will be dearly missed. So thank you, Belle.
Got some awards to give out now. First award is for Janelle. Yeah, Janelle's ran for me 3 seasons, and I'm certain when I say that she will always be one of my. She's near and dear to my heart. She will always be one of my favorite runners, all-time favorite runners that I've had. I loved having her run for me for the 3 seasons. She's getting this award for being the fastest run on the girls' team. It's called the Silver Sneakers Award. So, in many ways, Janelle was the pulse of the whole team. Her sense of humor and laughter brought life to the group and helped bring everyone together over the course of the year. She ran well and encouraged her teammates to be able to do the same at races throughout the season. Heritage Cross Country won't be the same without Janelle. That's for sure. Next one, Finn. Finn is a very gifted runner. He's a gifted soccer player, a gifted athlete, and he was able to do what most people can't do in that he was somehow able, through the logistical work of his parents too, and work from his parents, but somehow balance in a high achieving way playing both varsity soccer and cross country. I was very glad to have him on the team, and he's getting the Silver Sneaker Award for the guys team as the fastest runner on the team. He posted some really fast times. My goal for him this season was to get him under 18 minutes, and I think he probably would have done that. He's only a sophomore, but towards the end of the season, he was kind of working through a couple injuries, and he got close. I think 18:06. What was it? What was your fastest time? 18:09. So he's really close. Next season, I look forward to having him run again. And it's going to be fun. See him get under 18, maybe under 17. Hopefully, get some more all-conference awards and maybe make the state meet. That'd be awesome. So good job, man.
All right, a couple more awards. I'll be presenting our Most Improved Runner Award. This individual was able to take about 8 minutes off of their race time over the course of the year, and it seemed like every single meet we had, they were shaving minutes, more minutes off. They showed fight in dealing with injury early on in the season, often running through the pain that they were going through, but they were able to get past that. That did not stop this individual from continuing on throughout the year, overcoming those difficulties, getting faster and faster, until even the last few races where he was able to perform at his best. So the Most Improved Runner Award this year goes to Daniel. Congratulations, Daniel. All right, and then our next award will be our Most Valuable Runner Award. So this award goes to an individual that achieved excellence on the course as a runner and provided exceptional team leadership throughout the season. This individual ran the team's fastest sectional race finishing an accomplished high school career on a high note. Not only did he succeed in his meets, but he garnered the respect of his fellow athletes through his respect of those around him. His leadership was often under the radar, but his soft-spoken qualities of genuine kindness and willingness to serve others influenced the team significantly. He set the tone in practices and quietly called others up to his level, mentoring and encouraging them to do more than they thought they were capable of. So our most valuable runner award goes to Josiah King for a fantastic season.
One more award, and then some gifts. So the last award is what I used to call the Leadership Award, but I changed that this year to honor Derwin, and it's from this year, and hopefully every year forward, it's going to be the Derwin Legacy Award for the cross-country team. I value this award very highly, so much to the degree that there's been some seasons that I haven't awarded it to a runner because you have to reach a high standard to be awarded this award. So this year, the award is going to Callan. At the start of the season, Coach Ed and I decided to have a consistent theme in our devotions throughout the season, and we themed that around our team's motto. The motto is "Follow me," and "Follow me" is I took that from a verse in Philippians where Paul is talking about how he wants people. He says, "Hey, follow me because I'm following Christ." So follow me because I'm trying to be Christ-like. And Callan embodies a number of Christ-like characteristics. He's kind. He's one of the kindest people I know. He's very gentle. He's compassionate, and he leads in a quiet manner. And he's well deserving of getting this award. He's run for me all 4 years. Him and Josiah might be the only runners I haven't done all 4 years from this team, and I'm going to miss him a lot. He's going to be one of my all-time favorite runners, and a lot of that is due to his, just like I said, his quiet, kind, compassionate demeanor that he brings to the team. And this season, he really stepped up in a leadership role, and neither Coach Ed or myself asked him to do that. He just did it on his own. He had a willingness to lead others that was contagious. And on a personal success level, he succeeded on the course of bringing his times down and crushing some of the personal goals that he had set for himself. So he sets goals and he works hard and he really sets his mind to stuff and goes after it. And it's very admirable. To the point that pretty much every practice we ever had, some cross-country practice can be hard. There's a lot of really hard practices, and he'd be like, "Hey, coach, I got to get going." Like, he'd do the whole practice with me. I got to get going. Because he'd go work out at the gym for another hour or however long it was. And he was really dedicated to that, to the point that the last 2 weeks of the season, I actually had to almost force him because he was really resistant to this. I was like, "Callan, you can't work out. Let's focus on running real well these last two meets, and these workouts are going to kill you." So he reluctantly gave those up. So he's getting this award for all those things, for his Christ-like character, his leadership, and just his hard work. Thank you, Callan. All right, the last thing we got is what Derwin and I always did. Not always, just the last several seasons we did this, and we're going to continue the tradition, is giving gifts to the seniors, honoring the seniors for their work this season. I see that other teams have these really cute bags that present really well and look really cool, and that's neat. But the awards that we give, we literally like scoured the planet for some of these, and they're very expensive. And I took off like my 6th mortgage this year to fund some of these. So let's go. Just pick one up, Coach Ed. All right. This is a gift I'm giving to. Who do you think it is? Oh, Janelle. Everybody knew. It's a voice demagnifier. Janelle, see, on the cross-country team in a Heritage, you have coaches that love you and teachers that are patient with you. The other way. No. Turn it around. when you go off to college, you might not have the same patient love and kindness from your friends and your teachers. So you actually put that on your head, and you can talk in a normal voice, which is really loud, but it's going to demagnify that and bring it down to like what most people talk in. So that's your gift, Janelle. Okay, this is for Beth. Beth, I didn't make the neck chain big enough, so we might have to make that a little bigger. One of the qualities that Beth brought to the team was that she, like in races and practices, she had a steady pace and she just wouldn't stop, no matter what. She just always kept going. So I gave her this stop sign that when she goes running, if she continues her running career in life, which I hope she does, Beth, all I want you to do is put that around your neck at the beginning of the run. And when you're running and you feel like stopping, I always coach you don't stop, and you took that to heart and you never did stop, but I want you to give yourself the freedom to just be able to stop. And if you're feeling like stopping, just hold that stop sign. Just come to stop. It's okay. All right? So that's a gift. Let's do the other one first. Yo. I know, because when she lifts it up, yeah. Pretty slow. This is for Callan. Callan, what do you think that might be? It's a mug. Oh, what kind of face is that on it? Angry face? A mean mug, maybe? It's a mean mug. Callan is so nice. He's so kind. And in sports, you kind of need to have like a competitor's meanness and edge to you. And Callan, I think, struggles to find that. And in basketball, that's really going to help you this season, because you can pour any liquid into that, and when you drink it, it's going to give you more of a fierce, mean, competitive spirit to it. So that mug is actually very valuable and very expensive. It's hard to find that. So drink that before every game of your basketball season, your mean mug. And I got another mean mug. This one's for Belle. Belle, too, it's a little more froofy, but the cat also has a mean face, too. So that's Belle's mean mug, because she and Callan are kindred spirits. They're just so kind, compassionate, nice, and you never hear them saying mean things about anybody else. And so you need to have a mean mug for you too. It's Belle's birthday. Okay, so this is, if you turn it around too, this is for Josiah. You guys probably can't see it. It's ramen, but it's not just any special ramen, it's runner's ramen. Josiah is maybe the most naturally talented runner I've had in my years of coaching, but he's not my fastest runner. He comes in fourth on that list. And he will tell you himself that he loves races. He runs for the races, but he's not a huge fan of running in the off season. So I found this ramen. I found a number of runners around the planet use and eat this ramen. Very gifted and talented runners who share the same problem that you have of liking racing but not necessarily wanting to put in the off-season work. And I included Josiah's a lover of ramen noodles. So the recipe also includes in there, which most people don't know, is it includes bananas, pickles, a little bit of cheetah fur, some of Prefontaine's toenails, and a Bible verse, Matthew 6:32-33, gets ground up and thrown in there too. So you got the recipe in there, and you can just go forward in life eating that ramen and develop more of a love for running and training for running. So that's all I got, guys. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, so we wanted to thank our coaches for this awesome season we had. So Coach King, thank you for the 3 years that I got to be a part of your team. I think all of us aren't that big into running, but you guys make it really fun, as you could see up here. That's the reason why a lot of us do it. It's a really fun environment. You push us as runners, you push us as believers of Christ, and I appreciate you reminding us of Derwin this season. And just thank you for everything.
Coach King, I just wanted to say thank you for pushing us all 3 seasons, but also just making the team so fun. Obviously on those days where we had to run 8 miles or do hard speed workouts, we'd all be complaining and no one really wanted to do it. But at the end you always would make it worth it, and they're really fun waiting for us. And I just really appreciated that you were so encouraging and kind to all of us, but also like you didn't let us just give up and fail. You, as you would say, you didn't let us dog it. And so it was a really great 3 seasons having you as our coach. So thank you.
Okay, so I knew I liked Coach Ed from the moment he let us call him Coach Ed, despite that not actually being his name. Like, I'm still not sure why we call him Coach Ed, but yeah. Okay, so, but yeah, just one of my favorite things about this team is like the whole dynamic, and like when I heard we were getting a new coach, I was like, not like nervous, but like, a little apprehensive about what that would be like. But Coach Ed just really fit the dynamic really well of, like Alex Trotter said, fun but really weird. Yeah. And so I just want to thank him for joining in our TikTok that we made after the race and even like flipping his glasses upside down for us. So yeah, thank you for encouraging us so much and like taking the time to like run alongside us as we were running and talk to us about our lives. So thank you.
Coach Ed, I wasn't super enthusiastic about having you as an assistant coach this year, but you surprised me. You made conversation with the kids. You tried to run with all of us at least, and then you led a lot of devotions, and I was really happy about that. You were promoted from Zachary Thompson to Coach Ed, and then to the better coach, or BC. Sorry, CC. I know you couldn't replace Durbin, but I'm really grateful for your spot in the team, and you did a really good job, and I will miss you on President's Country next year.
All right. My name's Dave Poser, and this is not one of my fortes of talking in front of people. On the floor or on the baseball diamond, that's more me. That's the stuff I like to do. I like being on the floor. First, I'd like to read out of this book that Mr. Hook had given us. It says 3D Coach, and my wife is probably really surprised. I read the whole book. In here is verse, and it says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ, your servant. He's the one that gives the kids the abilities and the skills to do things, and as coaches actually get to try and tweak them and pull some stuff out of them, and try and get a few more things that they didn't know that they had inside them that God's already put in them. And that definitely did. No, I know I didn't. I got to be honest, so Mr. Hood, I didn't read this until like 2 weeks left in the season. But it's definitely helped me in a few ways. But a lot of it is how I really like to coach. And I like to tweak the little things. Now, when you get to like varsity, where Coach Ellis and Coach Carolyn, and they were having combined practices and things like that, which really worked and helped me out in a way because I was starting a new job, so it was really kind of, for me, a little stressful. But I could come in, sit down, watch the kids, and see what they're doing, and that's a lot of what I did. And so for that, it was really helpful and appreciative. And sometimes I can. I'll get there. Be a bit of a pain because I'm going through some learning in a new position, doing this, and liking that, and I apologize for some of that. But some of the extra work then went on to Coach Shelby. Shelby was there on time, got the doors open or whatever, and started going with the kids, and it was really huge for me. Now, part of what I like to do as a coach is one, it's not just about playing to win. I mean, that is what every game is. You go out there and you want to win the game. That's what you want to do. But it's really about having a cohesiveness amongst the kids. And if the kids aren't getting along, and there's issues and that kind of thing, it's just not going to work. This is a group of girls that have gone through a couple of things. Injuries. Brooke had gone off with somebody's foot. She was out for a couple of weeks. And, of course, there was like, oh, I hope so-and-so, someone else was kind of concerned about, oh, I hope so-and-so doesn't hate me, they'd be crying on the side at a tournament or something or other. And to me, it was more about the girls getting along, because if you get along, you're going to play along, and it's going to be a lot more fun. And what's happened with these girls throughout the year was, as they did that, they were just playing together more as a team and not just playing a position. Anybody can play a position. That's easy to do. But playing as a team and being strong together is a whole other thing. And I think these girls really gelled, and I really am appreciative of them, all of them, and I do thank you for doing that and working hard at it. There's been a lot of growth. One of the tournaments, actually we had two tournaments, or two games I should say, where we were down. One of them I'll explain. One was, I think we won a point because they served it out of bounds or something stupid. But then we lost the next 5. And I remember turning around and I called a timeout and I called the girls over, and I don't do this very often. But I just looked at each one of them. I just said, Nina was first. I just remember, I said, Nina, can you play your position? She says, yes. And I went down the line. I went around. I said, I don't know if you girls remember. I went, can you play yours? Can you play yours? Can you play yours? Yeah. Then let's go do it. Because they weren't doing it. They were just out on the court and expecting the ball to come, and it was all going to work. Well, when you play a game, you got to put your feet to action. You got to put your mind in motion. You got to get going and get doing it. They did that, and they ended up coming back to win that set, and then ended up winning the game because they played the game. And that's the fun part. For me, the fun part is literally just being on the floor, tweaking the little things, just letting them know if you fail, it's okay. That's part of learning. But and if you did good, yeah, I'm going to encourage you. I'm also going to encourage you when you don't do the right thing. And that's not a bad thing. It's all positive reinforcement. So they were fun. It was a good, I think we won like 75% of our games for a bunch of freshmen playing other freshmen, juniors, and sophomores. That's really pretty good. And those are the gifts and talents that God's already given them. So that was a lot of fun to watch. You don't know it, but us coaches love to sit and watch you guys just do that kind of stuff. Let's see. All right, anyways, so I'm going to keep that kind of short because Coach Shelby will come up in a little bit and she'll give her little speech. So we got a couple little fun awards here. And this one goes to Soleil Frost. She is here. Yay. This is called Switching Lanes Award. And it says, you started this season as a defensive specialist, only playing back row. We ended up short a hitter, and that's because of Brooke. And you stepped up. Now you have become one of our key outside players. Thank you for switching lanes and trying something. And one thing I honestly I love about doing this kind of thing, and I've probably, I think, coached, 7 years or something, but the kids turn out to be like my inherited nieces. You get to really know them because that's what I like. I want to know who they are, what causes, why is one having a breakdown or whatever, and just getting to know them and know that somebody cares. I know I've got a few hundred of these. Ellie Sells. the season, your hits have improved so much. Your setters always know you're ready when you hear clap, clap, clap. One of the things I've really loved about Ellie this year that I've noticed is her serves has gotten really phenomenal. I don't think you've missed too many of them throughout the year during the games, but your serves have been fantastic. Playing on the side has gotten better, and it just really and she's one of those inherited daughters from years ago. Let's see, Montana. And your go-get-it attitude. We love getting to see you improve and outrun everyone while running laps. And laps are not necessarily a punishment. It's more building up your stamina. But what's been really fun about Montana is she's never played the game before until this year. And I don't think I've seen anybody actually pick up the stuff as quickly as she has. She's on the net, she knows how to back up, she knows how to go on block, sometimes she'll even tip. Sometimes she'll tip it, and then the other guy will tip it, and she'll tip it, they have this little game going on. But it's really fun to watch her play, and she's just been a real joy on the team. Thanks. Annie Graber. And this is really true. Your serves are phenomenal. They really are. It was so fun to see you serve the ball so gracefully, yet with so much impact. Addie plays a wonderful game. I think she could play almost on any team. She will block. She'll tip when she serves. If she serves and that ball comes back and she's still in the back row, she has, I don't know how she does it because I can't, but I don't know how she can get solo to dig a ball up sometimes and get that as a nice pass and then still get up there and do what she's supposed to do. But she's really a good, phenomenal, I think, all-around player. So thank you, Annie. All right, Miss Danny isn't here. Danny Trujillo, is that right? Thank you. Edwards. She's a ray of sunshine throughout the season. With every task we have given her, she has done them with respect and a smile. And she does. She's really just a sweet person to have around. And don't worry, if she's cheering for you, you're going to hear her. All right, Miss Nadia Lee. Nadia, thank you for stepping up and being a setter this year. It was probably, did you find it fun? A little tough at times, but you didn't stop, and that was really good. You didn't only set, you also played back row for a few games, which was also helpful. And you're always good being back there, too. You're fun to coach, and we enjoyed this season with you. And one of the things that I do like about Nadia, and I think I can see this down the road, she loves to coach from the bench, but she knows what she's doing and talking about, and she's really good at it. And I can definitely see that because you just have this. This is what you do, get going. Hey, you're supposed to be over there, you back there. It's like, slow down, Nadia. It's okay. But thank you, Nadia. It was really fun. Miss Abby Stout.
Yeah, Abby!
It was exciting to see you and Noelle play together this season. One thing that we love about you is that you always try to have a positive attitude, and you can play anywhere we need you. We also love your Mario Kart boost dive that gets us all laughing. I know Abby this year really wanted to, and I know I mentioned at the beginning of the year of being a liberal. I call them liberals, not liberals, because liberals like to do whatever they want without consequences. But that's just me. But she stepped into the defensive specialist role, which we really needed, and you did a really nice job at it. And I love having you out there. The other thing I really liked about Abby this year is, and I'm going to be totally honest, so don't hit me or kick me because you got high heels. She, when she would serve, and I'm just being straight up honest, and this is a good thing. I know that in the beginning of the year, Abby would get, and you might have been different with clubs, other work, so I'm just going by what I see. But I would know that within about 3 serves, 1 or 2 would be hitting the net, and I know it would be like, oh, come on, Abby, how do we get you going? And I kind of picked up on it, and then we got her to, what do? Toss the ball. Backed up a little, and she would not sometimes toss the ball high enough. And so that would just cause, everything would be fine, but when she would hit it, then it'd go into the net or it would be a little far. But sometimes she would just toss the ball a little low. But then we worked on that, and then I think the next game that you were there, I think you ran off 7 or 8 in a row. You took your time, you served them sweet, and it was just really fun to watch. And then after that, it was like, all I had to do was just watch her. I didn't have to watch where the ball went, because I just knew it was going to be there. And if she did all the steps, I could just go, nice serve, not even care where the ball was, because just the way she did it was sweet and perfect. Thanks. Nina Dorger is not here, but let's see, Nina, what was one of the things Nina liked to do? All right, it's called the Shoot Award. She would love to say shoot when she did something wrong or served too hard and hit the net or whatever. Anyways, it says here, thanks for making this volleyball season fun and energetic. We appreciate all of your hard work and all of your shoot moments. And I'll just share a moment because it was actually kind of fun. Sitting on the bench, game's going on, the R1's right here or whatever, or R2, and all of a sudden you hear, shoot! And the R2 turns around and looks at me and he goes, she said shoot, right? Yeah, she said shoot. You sure she said shoot? Yeah, she said shoot. She didn't say, what do you think she said? She said shoot. And I had told the kids in the beginning, because they all have a little word, not the bad words, but I said, you have to watch what you're saying because others are going to think you're saying something different. And if we're a Christian, we need to watch what we say. I mean, I'm guilty of it too, so I'm talking preaching to me too. So, but it was just fun because that's just who she was. But she got called out on it, so when I talked to her about it, she goes, oh no. But it is, we do have to watch what we say. And it's too bad she's not here. Anyways, Noelle. Miss Noelle Scott. It has been a blast having you on the team, Noelle. We love you and appreciate your enthusiasm and leadership. We love the random sounds that you make, including the oohs. What I love about Noelle is she gives 110% of her heart. Well, it's good to give, when you're doing, you want to do your best. And that's what you do. And it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. But you take it seriously, right? And you do, and that's okay. It's all right to do that. But what I liked working with Noelle is I'd be telling her where to serve, I'm looking for lanes or looking for the weak spot. And after a while, I told Noelle a couple weeks into it, probably the 3rd week, and I just said, you got to start looking for what to do, where to go, look for your lanes. They would shift a little bit because she'd find that weak spot and start hitting it, and then they'd start shifting over, so she would move over to the other side and go the other way. And it threw them off, it worked really well, and she did a great job, and we're just going to get better. Thank you. All right, Mickey. Miss Mickey. Wow. Seeing your hard work and dedication this season has been so awesome. You have improved so much since last year. It's almost like these skills came out of the blue. We're grateful for your talent and that you're added to our team this season. Mickey has, I'd say, I've probably watched you for about a year and a half now, and you have really come a long ways. And what was kind of interesting is Brooke had rolled her ankle when Mickey had come under the net when they were practicing. And what was interesting, about a week or 2 before that, Brooke had come up to me and said, "Hey, Dad, is it okay if I take Mickey over to the side and just work on her coaching and that because she's playing right side?" And I was like, this is what I wanted. One of the things I wanted on the team is that the kids, if they could help one another, that they would do that, because that makes a cohesive team. If they're helping one another and us coaches can tweak them a little bit, that makes a strong team, to me. And that's, Mickey came a long ways with just her position. He just did a great job. I call you a sweet outside hitter. Everything is just like so perfect. It's really sweet. So it was fun watching you play. Thanks. Miss Kylie Kruk. Kylie, you have improved so much. We appreciate your fun spirit, never giving me that much, and your shrieks when the ball was flying towards you. Congrats on winning the last point of this season. Yeah, that was fun. Kylie came from a small school where I think there were 6 girls on the volleyball team, right? And whatever spot you were in, that's what you played. But Kylie has kind of picked up pretty quickly, and she's learning her spot, wherever it is. Yeah, we're still working on that, but she's picked up a lot just trying to figure out how to really do a system. So I give her a lot of credit, and I'm really glad to see her come out and keep her smile. Appreciate it. Thanks. All right, and then Miss Brooke. Like I mentioned, Brooke had rolled her ankle, and that was kind of raw. But she didn't complain a ton. Missing playing is what she loves to do it, and she's good at it. You have handled the season with grace and passion. We are proud of you. Your incredible selflessness, even when you were injured. You're so amazing that you have officially mastered your tossing skills, unlike Portia. But what I did like is finally, I think there was like 2 weeks you got to play after your ankle healed. And then finally we got you in. It was the last set of the last game, playing outside. And that's where you've been playing. You've been doing a nice job of it. She's always been playing back row and that kind of thing. But I had a parent come up and say, I didn't know Brooke could play back row. Or outside. I says, yeah, she actually does a pretty nice job of it. And the parent says, yeah, she really does. And they asked me why not. I said, well, because sometimes people aren't given a chance to play something different. And she did a great job. She didn't have a single error in that game. Everything was really nicely done. But she played outside, and she does a nice job of playing back row, and she also has a nice serve. She's a decent, and I'm not bragging on her because she's my daughter. Well, I am bragging on her because she's my daughter. But she can play a lot of positions, and I could just see her just getting a little bit better. So, thank you, bro.
Hi, I am Coach Shelby. I brought along with me my iconic notebook that the girls doodle in like every game. I also made several jokes about me slamming this down in anger, although I'm not really the angry type, so it's kind of funny, me just making a face and slamming my notebook down, which never happened. Anyway, our season was full of challenges, and the girls faced those challenges one at a time, and they improved with every fight. I'm super proud of all of these girls, and I was just talking to Coach Poser about how we don't have any seniors, so we don't need to get sappy, like it's fine, because I don't like being sappy and emotional, but I can say that when I look at this line of girls, I see strong, beautiful young ladies that were created in the image of God to do great things. And this season has been phenomenal with them, and I am so proud of each and every one of them. And so I came up with a word for each girl, and then a little explanation for it. So I'll start with Ellie. Ellie is one of my fellow Swifties. We both love Taylor Swift. And I feel like everybody, well, not everybody, but everybody that knows us should know that. So my word for Ellie is fearless. Ellie is willing to try anything, willing to do anything, willing to take up anything. And she's just fearless on the court, whether it's in back row, front row, serving, etc. She's going to do it. She's going to get it done. So, yeah, super proud of you, Ellie. Next, I have Noelle. I keep thinking Noelle's on this side, but she's actually on this side, so I'm like this. Anyway, Noelle, I've deemed you our leader. You have stepped up to be a leader this year in many different ways. And I am so proud of you taking that spot because I know that, well, from what I know, you're a pretty shy person and a little quieter than the rest. From what I know, that could be wrong. I wouldn't know that. But I've deemed you our leader, that's your word, and I'm just really proud of the steps that you have taken to lead this team this year. All right, next, also one thing that the girls always make fun of me for is when things get awkward or when I don't like doing things, I have little accents that I do. So if I do any of those accents while I'm speaking tonight, don't laugh, don't make it obvious. I'm trying. Okay, Montana, you're next. And my word for Montana is bold. Just like Ellie, I feel like I've seen Montana try new things just with a boldness and with passion, even though this is her first year playing and she does other sports, softball. Do you run? Sometimes. She's amazing all around at everything. But she's one of our bolder players, and she'll try anything. I'll throw her in outside, and she'll try it. She improved so much with playing middle, and she's just a phenomenal player. So, yeah, you're bold. All right, my next player is Brooke. Brooke, I have given you the word joy. Every time I look at Brooke, she's always smiling and laughing. I love her laugh. I don't know why. Every time she laughs, it's just so contagious. I have to laugh too. But yeah, every time I look over at Brooke, she's smiling, and everything she does so graciously, and she's kind, and yeah, she's just amazing. So, joyful Brooke. Okay, my next player is Nadia. And Nadia, I have given the title Vibrant. I feel like Nadia is one of our more energetic players, and I can definitely see her being a coach, if not playing professionally, but her being a coach in her later years. She's amazing. She's willing to do whatever. I feel like all of these girls are just willing to try something new, and it just adds greatness to this team. So, yeah. My next player is Abby. And Abby is very bright. And I don't mean this just intellectually or mentally, but also just physically. When she comes around, the presence that she brings is just bright. And she's always smiling. She's ready to just... She's ready to just poke me, and just be the greatest. She's amazing. And I feel like the relationship that we've developed over the past couple of years has been great. And her joy is definitely contagious because I work with 3-year-olds, so I come to practice beaten down and tired and wanting to go home. But then I see Abby and I'm like, yes, I have energy again. So yeah, you are just super bright, Abby. My next player is Soleil.
And Soleil and I feel like we have like this sister relationship where like we can just joke around about pretty much anything. I feel like she fits right in with me and Chelsea. So yeah, the word that I gave for you is comical because you're always ready to make somebody else laugh. Even me, you know, we talk about these different jokes all the time. Yeah, random stuff. Always joking, always laughing, and so I love that about you. Mickey, your word is willing. And again, I'm pretty sure like if we had like one of those counters, I've said willing about like 50 times tonight. But Mickey, you are willing to do what it takes to improve. And I am extremely proud of you. If we look at like your skill at the beginning of the year compared to now, it's you can't even compare. It's great. You have improved so much. And I'm so happy and blessed to have you as a player because you're coachable and again, you're willing. So yeah. Okay, my next player is Alex or Kylie. She has two names. She's so cool. My word for Alex is joy because she's another one of those players who is always laughing, always smiling. She's like another sister to me. I feel like all of these girls are just like my little sisters that laugh about my terrible driving skills. But Alex is one that just always lights up the room. Wherever she is, she just knows how to make people smile and knows how to make their day. So, yeah. All right, my last player is Addie. I love Addie so much. And the word that I have given her is intense. The reason I've given her the word intense, and I have to say it that way because suspenseful pause, right? So Addie is intense because she has a killer serve, killer hits, killer blocks, enough said, you know? And also, she's one of the most like encouraging people that I've met. Even when I would just kind of come in and play with the girls as we're practicing, I would just do like a random hit. Like I'm not even that good. I just like tip the ball over or something. She's like, "Oh, you just got Shelby'd," and she's just so excited, and she has this like joy about her that is contagious, just like the rest of the girls. All right, I believe that we are going to move into our plaques, and I'm going to hand the mic to Coach Poser.
All right, I have two, and then Coach Shelby will do two. One of them is not here tonight, and that is Nina. Nina is I have picked her for our most valuable player. I mean, she's just solid in the back. I mean, she knows how to get up underneath if someone's going for an outside hit. She's underneath there in case there's a tip or a block or whatever it is. She's just there. She's just solid. Her serves are dynamite. If I could just for a moment, even though she's not here, if I could get her just to back off on hitting it so hard, because if she just misses by a little, it's either a foot long or it's right into the net, one or the other. But I mean, she's just a dynamite player to have her on. You really can't ask for anything better. Is that better, Brooke? Do I got that to my face now? Okay. Thank you, Brooke. My kids love to correct their dad too. And the other one I have is for the most improved player. And it actually was a tussle between two. One is because one of them has played for a little longer. And so I have to put that one at a different starting point. But because one actually did start from scratch and literally has come a long ways, I think, I had to give her the edge on that. So for me, the most improved player of the year is Montana Stellman.
Okay, so way back when, like 4 years ago, I was in high school and I played volleyball. And one of my favorite awards that we did was called the Total Release Award. And this award is all about attitude on and off of the court, all about the encouragement that this person brings, all about respect, and willing to serve on and off the court. And so I awarded this award to Danny. She's not here tonight, but I am extremely proud of her and her attitude, again, on and off the court, and her willingness to do whatever we need her to do. I'm pretty sure she's played like everything this year, from like DS to right side to outside, just like everything. She's done pretty much everything. So super proud of her, and yeah, that's the Total Release Award. Right now, I would like to welcome up our team parent, Debbie Sells. We have some things for her, and I believe that she has some things to bring up as well. Oh, there she is.
Thank you, Coach Shelby and Coach Poser. On behalf of our team, I took the role of team parent. But thank you so much for both kind of stepping into new coaching this team. And so we want to say thank you. I tried to figure out which one of these could do what I'm doing, and they would all want to be right here. So I just decided I would do it. But thank you very much for encouraging, for being such investments into their hearts, into creating a great community. So I would say thank you to the parents too. And I want to say thank you to Coach Ellis for creating such a foundational level of play that has created where these girls even have been able to build on from Coach Shelby and Coach Poser. So thank you all coaches, and great job team.
All right, that concludes JV volleyball. So if varsity volleyball wants to head up.
Okay, so we'll try to make this kind of quick. So we had a really successful season. We ended up 24-19 with an extremely tough schedule, tougher than we've seen in a while. And on top of that, we kind of threw them in the deep end from the start. We played our first week, and we had 15 matches in 5 days, which is a lot. And then one was a tournament at Burlington with a lot of D1 teams, and then a 2-day tournament at Whitewater that we tied in with our retreat. And there we played 8 matches in 2 days against some of the top D2 and D3 teams in the state. And I think after that week, they realized they really surprised themselves. They kind of surprised us. We knew that they would be able to compete, but maybe not at the level that we didn't know they were going to compete at such a high level from the start. So we had coaches from other teams, parents from other teams coming up to us saying, where are you guys? Like, who's Heritage Christian? So that was kind of cool to get our name out there and get people asking about who we were. I mean, I could really go on and on about the success the girls had on the court, but what we want to talk about tonight is really the thing that impressed us the most about what this team did is how much they grew together over the season. Our theme verse this year was Romans 15:5-6, and that is, may the God who gives endurance and encouragement give you the same attitude of mind toward each other, that Christ Jesus had, so that with one mind and one voice you may glorify the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. So early on this season, I feel like we were struggling a little bit. We have 6 seniors and then 3 freshmen and a couple sophomores and juniors in there. We're not quite gelling together. So Coach Carolyn and I talked to the girls a lot about being unselfish teammates, figuring out a way to look to each other and not to us as much when they're in the matches. And we just kind of hope that they would figure it out, and they definitely did. And I really want to attribute that to our senior class. We couldn't have asked for a better group of 6 girls. They're seriously so different, and I didn't know how the dynamic was going to be. But I think the mix of all their personalities created a really fantastic leadership team. So they're kind and encouraging while being serious and focused, hardworking and dedicated, but also such a fun group. They're competitive and joyful and truly created a better team culture than we even hoped for at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, we're like, come on, guys, like cheer for your team, get excited. By the end of the year, we didn't have to even question that at all. So I really appreciate the way the seniors led this year. They were fantastic. And I want to say a big part of our success was this group of people here. I know it was mentioned before, but the soccer team, and I know we had some cross-country fans there cheering for us a lot. That meant a lot to us. And I don't know if you guys realized it, but we were 7-1 at home, which was really cool for us. We were a little sad that we didn't get to be in the gym, but I think the support that we had from the families and the other athletes, from all of the athletes here tonight, made this season really special. Okay, so now we're going to get to the girls. Watching them improve their skills was awesome, but getting to know them as people was truly my favorite part of this season. On a particularly bad day that I was having, we started this thing where like, you put your hand in the middle, and then on the count of 3, we would say, good day, medium day, bad day. It was kind of my way of telling them, like, I'm having a bad day. Like, don't mess with me. But it seriously became like, I think one of our favorite parts, I know Jenna, it was her favorite part for practice, for sure. So what was cool about it was then we would say, does anyone want to share? And some of them wanted to share more than others. And it was kind of fun to hear about what happened to them during the day and things that were going on and just get to know them as people. All right, so then we're going to start with Katrina. Katrina, come on up. So Katrina had 89 kills this year, and she led the team with 44 blocks, and that was actually the 3rd most in conference. She's such a joy to coach. She's kind of quiet, but we're bringing her out. And what I really loved about watching Katrina grow this year is that, like the fierce competitor came out in her, especially in practice. But then it really came out onto the court as we were going along the season, where she would block someone. She does this in practice, but she doesn't do it in matches. She would block someone, and then she would yell in their face like, "Yeah!" But then she did it once in a match, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." She's gonna be in trouble. But that's the kind of like passion she has for volleyball. She's such a good, quick learner. She loves being helped along and told what she's should be doing, how she'd be doing it, and she tries to put that into play on the next point. We also have our little special awards for the girls. Last year, I know for 8th grade we did candy. I think varsity we did candy too, some treats. One of my favorite parts of the season was when we were talking about retreat, and Coach Carolyn asked about food and what we should do. And she's like, I'm gonna have to bring my own food, I'm vegan. And I was like, what? Yes. Also, vegan. Well, kind of. More vegetarian because I like ice cream. But vegan for the most part. So the girls all rolled their eyes. They were not super happy about this. So we have vegan veggie awards for the girls. And so Coach Carolyn is gonna do that.
It's pretty lame. Okay, so we're gonna start with Katrina. For Katrina, we picked the cucumber because you are not just tall and lean, but because you, just like cucumbers, are great to have every day. You stay cool, calm, and collected in every situation, and you add a little vinegar and you become a sassy pickle. So.
Okay, next we have Chelsea Pascaso. Okay, Chelsea led the team with 281 kills this year, which was third most in the conference. She also had 252 digs, third in conference, and 66 aces. Chelsea is an overall fantastic player. I think her skills, especially when she hits, are obvious. What I think most people don't realize is how good her serve receive and her defense are, and how much that meant to our team this year. And I think one of her biggest improvements was her mental game. She has become such a good, consistent force on the court. She's a stabilizing presence. She stays calm and has been challenging herself in her decision making. She's working on her tips, right? Yeah. So we're just super proud of Chelsea and all she's accomplished this year.
Okay, so, yeah, very great. So for Chelsea, we have peanut butter because you're smooth on the court and off the court. It is vegan, yes, don't you worry. Yeah, you're smooth on and off the court, a lot of dance moves and such. Kind of nutty, but everyone loves you, and you can get a little salty if you get on her case too much. So that's peanut butter.
Okay, next we have Ainsley Ellis. Okay, Ainsley led the team with 92 aces, which was fourth in conference, 614 assists, which was third in conference, and 205 digs. She's a fun and fierce competitor, and she's grown so much in her volleyball IQ and her court leadership this year. She truly loves all her teammates, and it shows on the court in her excitement and encouragement for them. She never gives up on a ball, even after it hit the floor already. And I know that I can be hard on her sometimes, but you handle it with grace, and you try to do whatever Coach Carolyn and I ask of you, and we really appreciate that and can't wait to see where you go with your skills.
Yes. And so for Ainsley, we picked cinnamon because cinnamon is a small but strong, powerful spice. Can be the star of the show, or it can be used to assist with flavor and build up the ingredients around her. Cinnamon reduces stress on the body and is tough under pressure, just like you. But too much can cause adverse effects, which I think Coach can say.
I added that one in. So too much cinnamon can be a bad thing sometimes, but I do love you. Okay, next we have Carissa Norday. She's so happy to be up here. Okay, Carissa had 22 aces and 60 digs. Carissa is a competitor. I think she's harder on herself than anyone else is, and we can always count on her to contribute at practice and matches with an all-out effort and never quit attitude. She wants to be great, and it shows. She's improved so much in her defense, and she's become a great serve-receive passer as well. She is growing in her confidence, and she's such a fun addition to our team, and we are super excited to get Carissa back for the next 2 seasons.
Yes, and so for Carissa, we picked a pepper because peppers are bright and bold. They're sometimes sweet, sometimes spicy, which can happen with Carissa. They're also used to make pepper spray, and just like pepper spray, Carissa is a fierce companion to have by your side and will protect those closest to her.
Okay, next is Lindsay McElveen. Lindsay had 216 kills, 6 in conference, almost doubling the amount of kills she had the year before. She had 8 blocks and 97 digs. Lindsay switched positions this year for us. Last year she was a starting middle. She made the transition to outside. So it's a big transition. You have to play a lot more defense. There's less blocking. I know she loves blocking, but she did a fantastic job. And she worked really hard to improve her shot selection and her smart play. And she even, one time, she tipped with her right hand. It was great. One time. She likes to use her left for some reason. She plays with such an intensity and a joy, and it's so fun to watch. And we're super proud of her growth this season as a leader and a player, and we can't wait to watch her improve and continue.
Yeah, okay, so Lindsay, you were a prickly pear is what we chose, which we couldn't find one, so I think we have a dragon fruit. But they both look crazy. So. Okay, so a prickly pear is one of a kind. It's strong and unique, bright and bold. It has a tough exterior, but on the inside is super sweet. You can use all parts of the plant, the flower, stems, the whole thing. And just like the fruit. Lindsay is a versatile player. She did whatever we needed her to do, and yeah, so you're the prickly pear.
See Hannah. Oh, there you are. Hannah's quiet, but she's great. Okay, Hannah had 43 aces and had the highest ace percentage on the team. 22% of the time she served, she got an ace. And a lot of people might not know that Hannah has kind of had a battle these past 9 months. Last spring, she was diagnosed with a concussion and whiplash, and she fought that all season long. So it caused her to miss some practices, caused her to miss some games, but she was incredibly tough. Usually when she missed practice or games, it was because she overdid it and didn't quite listen to her body enough. And we admire her toughness and determination so much to try to push through the pain. But whenever she couldn't participate, she was always there, cheering on her teammates, encouraging everybody, and helping her whole team out as much as she could. So she is just the ultimate team player and just the sweetest soul that you'll ever meet.
Yes, so we picked tea for you, some nice tea, because tea is warm and comforting, and if you know Hannah, she is warm and comforting. She will make you feel better. There's a flavor for everyone, and you don't know how strong she is until she's in hot water.
Okay, now we are on to our seniors. First is McKinley Mulver. McKinley had 63 kills, and she actually had the highest hitting percentage on the team, with nearly a 30% kill percentage. She had 28 aces and 63 assists. McKinley was probably one of my favorite players to get to know this year. She's one of the most dedicated players we have. She never missed a practice or training or anything. And then all summer, I think the last 2 years, she just made an effort to be at every single thing that she could possibly be at. She just never quits. She never quits on a ball in practice. And she was put into kind of a challenging position this year to learn a new role as a right side hitter. And she thrived not only at her role, but with her in her spirit and her attitude. We appreciate the relationship she built with the underclassmen and how she pushed and challenged them to be better versions of themselves.
All right, McKinley, you are Ginger, not just because of your hair that this man's called you Ginger, but because you're unique, sharp, and peppery, sweet but spicy, bright, strong, and bold, and brave. And ginger is used to elevate the ingredients around her and build others up, and that's just what you did.
Okay, next we have Jenna. Okay, Jenna had 84 kills, 13 blocks, was second on the team in blocks, and 30 digs, nearly a libero. Right? Yeah. Okay, so going into the season, starting back last spring, Jenna was probably my biggest concern. Literally every time I saw her, she begged me, please don't make me play middle. I don't want to play middle. Coach, I'm not a middle. I don't want to play middle. I was like, okay, this is going to be great. So I was kind of worried that she would rebel and kind of refuse to work hard at the position, but she got over that so quickly, and she's incredibly coachable this year. Always made sure that we saw when she did something really well in practice. I don't know if I've ever laughed at practice as much as I did this season, and most of it was because of Jenna laughing with you, of course. But she really, like every single practice, she boosted my mood. She's just so much fun to be around, and she's such a big role on this team as a leader, our starting middle every game, and she's really been one of my biggest joys of the season, and I'm going to miss coaching you so much.
All right, Jenna, we picked trail mix for you because every bite is a surprise. You're not sure what you're going to get. Sometimes nutty, sometimes sweet, salty, or something just totally unexpected. It's lovable, and you always want to have it around. And plus, chocolate has mood-boosting powers, and she always boosted our mood at practice.
Okay, next we have Paige Poser. Paige had 34 kills, 14 aces, 27 digs, and 38 assists. Paige can do it all. She has every quality you want in a teammate. She's hardworking, coachable, kind, encouraging of others, and puts forth endless effort, no matter how she's feeling that day. She's another kid that was challenged to step out of her comfort zone and learn a new position, and it was truly amazing to see how much she grew as a hitter and how well she did in that role. She is a fantastic leader for the rest of the team and really set the tone of hard work and dedication on this team. And can't wait to see her flourish as a leader and just a person in the future, and such a great kid.
Paige, for you, we picked the sweet potato because it is a root vegetable and you are deeply rooted in your faith, and it's very evident. You're sweet and comforting to all. It's considered the #1 healthiest vegetable, so you gotta have it. And very versatile and can accomplish a lot and works well with others.
Okay, next we have Allison Grooms. Allison had 10 kills, 12 aces, 55 digs, and 2 blocks. Did you know that? No, you had 2. Allison, just the sweetest, most grateful person I think I've ever been around. Every time she came out of the game, she literally said thank you to every person that gave her a high five along the way. I thought it was really cute. She is such a blessing to everyone she's encountered. She works hard to become a huge part of our team with her serving and defense, but her biggest improvement was her diving. Right? At the beginning of the season, we started a thing called diving suicides for punishment. They loved it. So instead of running and touching a line, you have to dive and dive and dive and dive. And Allison would literally do this kind of crawl to get down to the ground. But then she realized if she wore leggings, then she was an amazing, fantastic diver. And it was strange because it really seemed like it boosted her confidence to just play volleyball in general. And her skills have improved so much. I love watching her confidence grow, and she was so much to have on the team. We're going to miss you a ton.
So for Allison, we picked oats because oats are wholesome and pure. They're good for you to have every day. People who eat oatmeal every day have better health outcomes. And just like people who spend their time with Allison probably have better health outcomes too. It's a very heart-healthy food and makes people feel full and loved, and that's what you do.
Okay, next we have one of our captains is Ada Kaselke. Ada had 42 kills, 47 aces, and 151 digs. Ada's been a 4-year player on varsity and has played every position except for middle hitter, I think. She's that kid that truly means it when she says, put me wherever you need it. I'll just work hard and do my best. And that's what Ada did every time she went on the court. She's incredibly focused and serious. But this year was really fun it's cool to see her fun side come out at practice and in matches more. She did a fantastic job as a top server and defender for us, but I believe her biggest contribution came in the form of her steady leadership. She holds herself to a really high standard, and that makes her teammates want to work hard and stay focused for her as well. She is honest and authentic to who she is, which is pretty amazing quality to see in someone so young.
All right, Ada, we got avocado for you because you have a tough exterior, but inside is bright and versatile. Like avocado oil, you are great under high heat and pressure. You can be central to a dish or complement others. You are independent and thrive on your own, but also a beautiful addition to any dish.
Okay, and last we have Alex Meyer, another one of our team captains. Alex had a team high 266 digs, was second in conference in digs, and 48 aces. Alex has been so fun to coach this year. She's hilarious and is always making us laugh. She loves to have fun, but takes the game very seriously. She competes every time she's on the floor. I feel like there were times when I put more pressure on her as a senior captain leader, and she stepped into that role really well. People don't always realize what a huge role the libero has, but she sets up the entire point every single time, and our passers do. And her serve receive is fantastic, and it was going to be a huge loss to not have her next year. But we're so grateful that we had her this year. Her growth in her mental game has been, I think, the biggest change this year, and she was so strong, I think, because she became a really unselfish player and focused on building other people up around her. We really appreciate that.
So for Alex, we picked chia seeds because they are tiny but a powerhouse. And chia actually means strength in the Mayan language, and just a small amount provides energy to sustain energy and endurance. And that is what Alex was. You just need a tiny little bit of Alex, but she will bring you energy and joy and power and just everything you need. So we love you.
Okay. Now we have our awards. The first one, I think I kind of touched on it, but we have our most improved award with someone who had never really played this position 100%, wasn't quite sure if she wanted to, but she was just fantastic for us the whole year, and every match she got better and better. And so our most improved is Jenna Norden. Okay, our next one is Heart and Hustle Award. It goes to a person who gave every point, every practice, her all, and was just constantly fighting, hustling, and really did a great job in that role, and that is Ainsley Ellis. Switch those. There we go. Okay, so then we have our Offensive Player of the Year. Led the team in kills and was a huge force for us on the court. We are super proud of Chelsea Pascasol in that role. And then our last award is our Defensive Player of the Year. I think this was kind of obvious. It's the one who led our team in digs, so Alex Meyer, our Defensive Player of the Year. And we have a couple of all-conference awards here. I did not tell the girls about these yet. The first one is honorable mention all-conference. And this goes to Chelsea Pascasol. Okay, and then we have a second team all-conference award that goes to Ainsley Ellis. And I was trying to look it up, but I think there's maybe been only 2 or 3 first team all-conference awards in the past 10 years or so for Heritage, and so we were super excited that Alex Meyer got first team all-conference. Is there anything else? Oh, I do want to say for a moment, I'm super thankful to have had Coach Carolyn by my side this year. She truly loves these girls so much. She's a fantastic coach, and it's been a joy to coach alongside her, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. Mr. Hook, do you have anything?
Your volleyball team, please stay put.
So, for some reason, when we won regionals, we were the only school in the world that didn't have the plaque that day. It wasn't Mr. Hook's fault. That's not why I'm looking at him. It was WIA's fault, right?
Yeah, they're not here. Let's blame them. As I think many of you are aware, this volleyball team was able to accomplish something exceptional this year. And I'm just going to share this picture because I think it's so great. They are our 2022 WIA regional champions. And yes. And as Coach Ellis alluded to a moment ago, our plaque, for some reason, did not get here. We were not the only school that did not have a plaque at the regional finals. I'm not exactly sure what was going on. But it is my pleasure. We will be representing this to you on Friday night when we honor you at the gym grand opening. But it is my pleasure to present our girls volleyball team with your 2022 regional plaque. So, real quick, and again, like I said, we're gonna be honoring the team again on Friday night at the gym grand opening. But our coaches and our athletes are very, very humble, and I had a chance to meet with some of them to just sort of put what has happened this year into perspective, and I just want to share it with all of you just very quickly. I jotted some notes down. This was the most wins that our volleyball team Heritage has had since 2014. It's our first 20-plus win season since 2014, actually when Coach Carolyn was a senior. It's our first regional championship since 2014. It's our first playoff win since 2016, and it's also the first time we've hosted a playoff game since then. And if you were lucky enough to be at any of the 3 matches that we hosted at home, our girls did not only earn a number 2 seed and host, they did not drop a single set at home during the playoffs until, unfortunately, when we got to sectionals. However, this team, the coaches, the athletes, what you were able to accomplish this year was amazing. You were so much fun to watch. And I've also never had a group be so excited about shirts. So I believe it was Miss Poskisil who grabbed the microphone from me after the regional championship game and yelled, "We get shirts!" into the microphone. So it is also my pleasure to present you, volleyball team, with your 2022 regional champion t-shirts. Your coaches will hand these out to you tonight before you leave. And then I would like to request that you please wear these on Friday night when we honor you at the gym grand opening. Okay, so congratulations again to our volleyball program. Thank you very much. Before I turn it over to our next presenter, I just want to make sure, do any of the captains or seniors want to say anything?
Okay, so I just wanted to say a little bit about our coaches. So Coach Ellis, this year has been a year of a lot of changes and a lot of different things for our volleyball program. And I just wanted to say thank you just for always being open and honest with us as players. I'd never really been a part of a team with a coach that was always just told it like it was and did everything like that. And I also just wanted to thank you for just caring so much, for watching film of different teams and just knowing how we could win and all these different strategies and stuff. And then also just for caring about us as people, for doing the little thumb thing at the beginning of practice and everything. It just made the season really enjoyable and honestly my favorite season of volleyball, so just thank you.
So I'm going to talk about Coach Carolyn. I just wanted to say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and coach us. Even though you were struggling with personal things throughout the season, you were always there to come help encourage us. I know personally you encouraged me throughout the season a lot, helped grow my confidence, and you were always there. I feel like I could talk to you about anything. So I just wanted to say thank you for all you've done.
And lastly, we decided that the best way to end our season is with one last Be Real. So, Coach Ellis, here you go. Yep.
At this time, I would like to invite a member of our booster board, Mrs. Megan Drager, up to the podium to present our fall athlete, Booster Fall Athlete of the Year award winner.
Late in the day, I gotta get my readers out. Heritage Christian Booster Club has been presenting the Outstanding Athlete Award for more than 5 years. Over the course of that time, we've been blessed with many great athletes who are not only outstanding athletes, but also meet additional criteria as set forth by the Booster Club Board. Varsity coaches nominate an athlete from their programs, and the nominees are then voted on anonymously by the board. For the first time, we finally have a sponsor who has stepped up to honor our athletes with a gift card. Burkhart's Sporting Goods has donated a $100 gift card for the winner tonight. and for the winter and spring season as well. Here are the criteria that any nominee must meet. An athlete can be of any grade level, 9th through 12th grade, so long as they participate at the varsity level. He or she must be outstanding in athletic aptitude for the sport. They must be outstanding in leadership, both on and off the field. And lastly, be outstanding in showing and living a Christ-like example to others. This year, we had strong nominees from all of our sports, and I would like to share with you the nomination from the coach for the winner of this season's award. This athlete was one of the top performers on the team and was an all-conference sophomore year. Last season, this athlete was beset by an injury that kept them from performing at the same high level of the previous season. This season, injury-free, this athlete approached the same level as they achieved as a sophomore. On the team, they had the second fastest time and finished first on the team during a few races. This athlete also excels in academics, which is evident by the 4.0 plus GPA. They have not settled for easy course loads, filling it with almost entirely honors and AP college level classes. This athlete is a leader on the team, leads by example with a quiet and humble demeanor. They motivate others on the team during hard workouts by acting and by attacking the workout with intensity, positivity, and no complaining. They also bring a jovial and lighthearted attitude to each practice and event. They are good at making others laugh, which helps make hard workouts seem a little easier. The coaches can tell that the other teammates look to them to model their behavior after this athlete. This senior's leadership will be greatly missed next year. This athlete is well-rounded off the course as well. As an NHS member, they can often be found volunteering at school events and is also an active volunteer at church, playing drums for the worship team, volunteering in children's church, and filling in the nursery when needed. A Heart for Young Kids in the nursery is evident. You can find them Sunday morning running around with a small troop of youngsters vying for attention, which is freely given in a selfless and humble way, playing with them at their level. Please join me in congratulating Ezra King as our fall 2022 Outstanding Athlete. Ezra's Grayson's friend, Josiah.
Thank you so much for coming and staying through our long evening. I know it gets to be late, but we have so many awesome athletes and coaches that we want to make sure that we celebrate all of them. Would you please join me in praying? Heavenly Father, we are thankful that you would choose to give us the blessing of sport, that you have given these athletes healthy bodies and strong minds, but most of all, a love for you and an ability to see your kingdom grown through athletics. We thank you for the privilege that we have to do that here at Heritage Christian Schools, and for all the coaches who have given up their time and their energy to pour into our athletes. Lord, we pray that you would be with them as this season closes and they move into the off season, that you would give them safety, that you would give them opportunity to continue to grow, and ultimately, Lord, we pray that your kingdom would be advanced through what they have done here and are going to do in the future. We give you all the praise and glory for that. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you for joining us. There are some snacks on the counter. We would love for you to have some time of fellowship and have a great evening.